Well, we'd like to really say good evening to you all for coming out. Thank you for coming out. This is the third town hall meeting that the police department has provided to the citizens of the city. We look forward to serving all the citizens of Douglasville and open up the doors and let you see what we do every day to serve you. My name is Gary Sparks. I'm the Deputy Chief of Police, and I've been with the department for about 23 years, and in this position for a year and a half. So we're going to move right along, and the next person I'm going to introduce is the Chief of Police, Chris Womack. And like the Chief always say, we moving on up. As some of you may be riding down Fairburn Road and you see that nice building being built. We moving, as the Chief say, from the outhouse to the penthouse. And it's been way overdue. And this is one of the aspects of Chief Womack administration is to be open to the public. So you can see what we're doing. We're an open book. And we wanted to serve you, and we want to listen and hear from you to tell us what we're not doing, and then tell us what we're doing good. And that's our main objective, is to serve the public here, and the criminals that come here and commit crime. We got a place for them, and that's down there in the jail. And we're not going to, we're not going to leave any stone unturned when it comes to arresting violators of law out here in the city of Douglasville. And you could put your money on that. That these men and women up here at the front desk that will be presenting some things to you. We all, most of us are from here, and so we have a vested interest not only being from here, but our families, kids, and went to school in the city. So we here and we love it, and we love the city, and we love what the mayor and council is doing for us. So without further ado, we're going to turn it over to the man that's leading this department and leading it well for the last year and a half, Chief Chris Womack.
Well, just like Gary said, thank y'all for being here tonight. Thank you to the viewers on CTV that support the Douglasville Police Department. And I first want to go on record as saying of how blessed and how fortunate I am to be serving in this capacity. I know a lot of folks get to see my picture in the paper a lot and see myself on CTV, but it's not about me. I mean, any credit's getting done by the police department, it's because of the work that all the men and women are doing that work at the police department. We've got a great family, and these guys are my brothers and sisters, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the changes that's been implemented over the past year and a half, and some of the things that's coming hopefully in the next year and a half with the city of Douglasville. One thing that the deputy chief alluded to was the new building. And, this is one of those deals where you could say it's the worst of times, but it's also the best of times. Unfortunately, we are in a downturn in the economy. I feel like we're on the upswing. I think things are coming back, but the past couple of years have been tough on everybody. City government's been under the freeze now this is our third year. As I know, we've seen many businesses. We've lost a lot of businesses here in Douglasville, and we've seen a lot of foreclosures take place. And when you start thinking on a personal note, when you start having friends and family members who are losing their jobs, can't find a job, have lost their home, and they're having to pack up not only themselves, their kids, and try to find a place to live. It helps keep it in perspective of how we're all really in the same boat together. And we got to do what we can to keep it together, hold it together, and in these tough times. But one of the benefactors that we've seen here at the police department because of the economic situation that we're in is the police department. And, I'm fortunate that the city of Douglasville, under tough economic times, passed that GO bond to allow us to get this police department underway. And I know that this is something we've talked about here in the city at least since 1989. We've gotten so close so many times with so many different properties around the city of, we looked at where the Bleakley RV Center is one time. We considered the old Walmart. And, they say good things come to those who wait. I do think this was definitely the best option that we had. And we're getting a beautiful state-of-the-art public safety facility that's going to house not only the police department. As many of you know, right now we're in about 6 or 7 different buildings spread out all across the downtown area. That's been a managing nightmare for the command staff to try to keep up with folks when you're spread out like that. But that's going to bring us all underneath one roof. It's going to make us much more efficient, much easier to manage, and we're going to be able to serve each of you at a much higher level by increasing that efficiency. But as I was saying about the economy, this has allowed us, with the bond that you passed, to get much more facility than we were originally going to get about 2.5, 3 years ago when we first started this process of pricing what we could get. Come on in, Miss Dot. Glad to see you. Glad you could join us this evening.
Well, come on up here on the front.
The building is much nicer. We have a lot more components. We have an indoor firing range in the new building that we didn't originally have in the plans for the police department. We have a very nice community center, so that one of the next meetings we have as a town hall will be held down at our new facility in our new community center that's in the small building. If you look at the property from 92, you'll notice there's 2 buildings. You have the main PD building, then you've got the smaller building on the left that has the community room as well as the indoor firing range. And the beauty of that is by having the firing range in a second room, it doesn't ever interrupt your operational day with the sound effects that you might have spill over from the firing range. So we're tremendously blessed. Beautiful site out there, beautiful location. I want to ensure the public, we are going to keep 6730. We will have that manned as a precinct uptown, just like the mayor and council. The one on the corner, the old brick building. We're still going to have somebody there. But what I also want to tell the rest of the citizens is keep in mind we operate a lot different than a fire department. We're not sitting around waiting on calls to come out to respond. We have people in assigned zones that they don't come back to the house. When they leave, they're out in their zones, in your neighborhoods, in your specific community areas, waiting and patrolling, being proactive. So it's a little different concept, and I don't want, some citizens had the idea that everybody just responded from downtown. That's just simply not how our police department anyways functions. Is we do have people in their areas out in the different zones. We're currently working 4 different zones in the city of Douglasville: 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2 on the north side of I-20, and then 3 and 4 on the south side of I-20 in the Thornton Road corridor out there. And like I said, we have people out there in those sections all the time. I've had a lot of positive comments over the black and white police cars. I think it was a great idea, but it's not something I can claim the credit for. It's actually a couple of patrolmen, and particularly Skippy, Robert Long, one of our longtime patrolmen here, that came up with the idea of how he really was pushing. He's a California boy, and he wanted to see.
California?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it came out of Mayberry, North Carolina.
And he wanted to go and back to the black and whites, and to be honest with you, it's created quite an illusion that I don't mind sharing, because I know we have a lot of honest people that watch city TV, but it gives the illusion we got more police cars out there because it is more noticeable. And believe me, if I can put it in bad guys' heads that we got a policeman on every corner, that's exactly what I want to do, because it does make them stop and think about perpetrating their crimes. On that note, you hear in law enforcement there's been a dirty word that's come around that people have started saying a lot that you don't say, and that's the word profile. And I'll tell you right now, in Douglasville, we profile criminals, and that's who we're getting. We don't care what you look like, what you're doing, but if you're breaking the law, we're looking for you, and you're going to be dealt with accordingly. One thing that everybody up on this group, I think, is come to learn and maybe mellowed out. Even yesterday, I'll be honest with you, I cut a young man a break, may not have had it coming, but I've learned that sometimes there's ways to deal with situations that you can fix the problem without necessarily putting somebody in jail, and that's what our goal is. We want to make this safe, and we want to keep the criminal element from perpetrating their crimes out here. And sometimes that means going to jail, but there's other avenues that we have in law enforcement. Gary, hopefully, is going to have time to mention tonight to you about his Youth Against Violence program that he teaches every Saturday. He volunteers his time every Saturday to teach the young men and women of not only Douglasville, Douglas County, and surrounding counties that come to Douglasville just for that program to see, hey, we're not your enemy. We're not out to get you. We're going to teach you the law, and we're going to help you stay on the right side. We need folks to be productive out here, putting back in the community, not taking away our resources. So they cover a lot of different topics, like one in particular that our young people get in trouble with a lot of times is the male-female, the sex laws. So we educate them on that so that they know. We want to take away them being able to say, well, I didn't know. Nobody ever told me. So we try to remove that part of the equation for them by educating them and letting them know what the law says and what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time because hopefully, like I said, Gary's going to come back to that. What I'm going to do at this point, for those of you, most of y'all have seen me grow up here and known me since I was a kid. I went to Douglas County High School right here, went to the Marine Corps, stayed gone for about 4 years, came back and was fortunate that Joe Wisnett gave me a job when I was 21 years old. And don't mind telling you, last week I celebrated my 43rd birthday, so I'll give you an idea of how long I've been with the city of Douglasville. And and like I said, I'm blessed. I couldn't ask to have a better job or a better group of people to come to work with every day. But I'm going to go down the line here. Y'all have already heard from my partner, Gary Sparks. Sitting next to him is Major Greg Graff. He's my former partner. We used to work together on patrol, and Greg has recently been promoted to the rank of major, and he's over all the operations taking place within the police department. Just to his right is actually mine and Gary Sparks' right-hand woman, so to speak. They say behind every good man is a good woman. Well, we've got a great woman because as far as administratively, Sue Ann Shaw, Captain Shaw, takes care of us not on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. I mean, she's handling business in the admin building, takes care of all the billing, all the ordering, and make sure myself and the deputy chief are where we're supposed to be and when we're supposed to be there. And can't tell you how much she does for us every day. To her right, you have Zach Artis. Zach's got a lot of different experience. He's recently come back over to the patrol side at his request. He came to us and said, I'd like an opportunity to work in patrol for a while. He'd been over in detective for several years, been promoted up through the ranks there, and came back as a captain in charge of half the patrol division. Zach and I go back a little bit. We've coached some youth league sports together and upward. That's one thing that we encourage all of our men and women at the police department to do is get involved in other activities other than just at the police department. I know that's one reason why I've been fortunate enough to be where I'm at. It's because of the other things that the community got in behind, saw us out there doing, particularly like with the DARE program years ago. And I'm proud that when officers do take that initiative to get involved in their community and their churches and have activities, and Upward is a great program. And Zach and I coach some soccer together. Down beside him is who I refer to as Big Cat. That's Lieutenant Adam Cannon, who is Lieutenant in Detective Division. Here again, very multi-talented individual. We've also coached youth sports together through Upward. Adam's also one of the key members of our SWAT team. He right now is number 2 in command of the entire detective division. And, one thing I'll say about Adam Cannon, he's one of those guys, he's kind of like the enforcer. It don't matter what job I need done. And sometimes it may not be a pleasant job, and it may not be a job that's a lot of fun for some folks. He knows that it's business. He handles it as business, and he goes out there and takes care of it, and I never have to look back a second time. So it's important when you got people in your organization that's your go-to people. As you notice, one of the things that has been changed over the time since Gary and I have taken over is we went to the white shirts. All the command staff wears, and when I say command staff, that's captains and above. With the exception, we do have one lieutenant who's not with us tonight, Brad Stafford. Most of y'all know Brad. He's been around for quite some time. He's over our training division, but we all wear the white shirts. And then the reason behind that is so that when we do go out on calls, that people know that, they may not know who we are by name or by face, but they see the shirt and they know it's usually probably somebody of rank that's shown up on the scene for them to help them with whatever problems that they've got going on, is one of the reasons for the changes in that uniform. And I think it looks pretty sharp. Being a Marine, I'm very high on appearance. I would say that since I've been here, I would say our police department is probably at a higher level of fitness right now than it's ever been in the past 2 decades. This is something that's been carried on from Chief Wisnett's tenure, that he was very not only pro-education but pro-health and taking care of yourself. And most everybody knows Joe know he has continued to take care of himself, and he always encouraged us to do that, and we've kept that going at the police department. One of the new aspects of our new facility is we're going to have a gym. And I'm excited about having that. We're also going to have a defensive tactics room where we can go in there and beat the brakes off each other a little bit. And that's always a lot of fun, some good team building going on there. Y'all know most police officers are very laid back, not very competitive. So sometimes you got to give them a little nudge to get them going and get them a little fired up. But I'm going to sit down for a little bit, and at this time I'm going to turn it over to our Major of Operations. Been in the community for a long time, and when I talked about extracurricular activities, I know he's coaching high school baseball right now for the community. Greg's always active in a lot of different things. I know both of his kids have come up through the school system here in Douglas County, at Douglas County High School. He's suffering from the empty nest syndrome now. He's got both of his boys in college. He's also probably got the empty wallet syndrome because as he's been schooling me, I've got one going to college next year. He's been saying it don't get any better. It only gets worse when they leave. It's even more expensive. So I'm going to turn it over to Greg and let the Major tell you a little bit of what he's got going on. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Chief.
Chris, that's a good rehearsal for a larger crowd next time.
Well, this is going to be on
Just
city
getting a good
too.
rehearsal.
Thank
We're
you,
going to
Doc.
have to help build you up a crowd. Because this is too good for people to miss.
No, appreciate it.
What we were talking about was, should we just say, well, thank you, but you all are busy. Maybe we can come back another time. But
We're going live on TV. So
They're well
Okay.
TV.
we've got a big audience that's
Okay, well,
going to be
that's
seeing this.
great. You
And that tells me we must be doing pretty good, or we'd have more people in here wanting to complain.
That's right. They just want to watch it on
That's the way I'm
TV.
going to take it.
Well, yeah, you do have a good audience with us.
As the Chief said, I'm Greg Graff. I'm a Major over Operations. And I'm going to kind of quickly go over what the Chief just has so you kind of get a view of what we had. This is our administration division. This is the three of us, the Chief, Chris Womack, Deputy Chief Gary Sparks, and myself. We do have 4 captains. As he talked about, we have Captain Sue Ann Shaw. Captain J.R. Davidson's on vacation tonight. Beautiful Adam Cannon sitting in for him. Captain Darren Shaw is over District 1 Patrol, which is everything north of I-20. He's also on vacation. And then Captain Zach Artis is District 2, which is everything south of I-20, and our corridor on Thornton Road, which is a pretty big zone. As the Chief said, this is our new facility. That's the main office there. Can y'all see it? Do I need to turn that light down a little bit?
Cut the lights down a little bit. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Thank you, Kelly.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's better.
Thank you, Kelly.
If you go down Fairburn Road, south on Fairburn Road, cross over the interstate, just before you get to where the bowling alley is, you'll see the building on the right there. This is it's actually a little bit more buttoned up now, but that's what it looks like there. That's the main office. It'll have the court division, the court building. Downstairs will have the evidence and special ops and everything, and training, and like the Chief said, the weight room and tactical room and defensive tactic room. Yes, sir.
And like Greg, y'all both know we've done training at some point. Brad's got that job now. As a trainer and you don't have a place to teach out of, it's tough to train. Tough to do a whole lot of teaching when you ain't got a classroom. So that's just another, and no lie, folks, when that picture pops up right there, I just got sweaty for the first time looking at that. That's how exciting this is.
It was beg, borrow, and steal. When you have to train outside facility, you got to call people. We can do everything right here. The next one, this is the building off to the left. It doesn't look like like it, but it's buttoned up even more. It's going to have the same brick, the same kind of front. The top end is going to be a community type room. Downstairs is where all the firearms, the firing range is going to be. Separate, there's a little walkway there, but it's a beautiful facility. We are excited to get there. We really thank everybody for passing the bond. Old school, that's the old police cars that we had here. That's what we've gone to now. Like the Chief said, I've got people calling up saying, yeah, man, how many officers you guys have? 150, 200? We've got 90. But it's because the new car, the way the car looks, it just pops out, and it. Our police department employees, like I said, we have 90 certified officers. They take over patrol, detective, motors, SRO, special ops, IT, and training. We do have 2 people in IT. One of them is a sergeant. We have computers in all of our cars. We have video cameras in our cars. She takes care of all the computer components. You name it, she's got it all. And it's a huge benefit for the officers to have an IT person. We have our own training division with 2 officers. Motors have 4, and then 1 in a car. Detectives, we have 13. So, I mean, we got 90 sworn officers that carry badges and guns that are out there doing the work each and every day. These are the people behind the scenes. We have 19 total non-certified support personnel in records, courts, parking control, fleet maintenance, receptionists, TAC, and evidence. And these are the people that take care of all of us to take care of all the paperwork. Without any of these, we couldn't function the way we are. The non-certified people are just as important to us as the certified people. A little bit about our patrol shifts. We run 4 patrol shifts, 2 teams, 2 day shift, 2 night shift. They work 12-hour shifts. They start at 5:45 in the morning, work till 6 in the evening. The other teams come in at 5:45 in the evening, work till 6 in the morning. Each team is supposed to have 9 officers, was what we hope for, but with vacations and sick leaves and everything, we run probably 6 to 8. Each team has a lieutenant, and each team has a sergeant. So there's a sergeant and lieutenant on each team. And we'll get into this a little bit later. We have community programs that our department is huge in. Our officers go out daily, weekly, monthly neighborhood watch programs. We get calls from all over that do neighborhood watch programs for us. We attend homeowner association meetings. We have a Citizens Police Academy that we would like everybody to come and join and try to check out. It's something that we do for the citizens to kind of introduce the police department to the citizens. It's kind of like a welcome Douglasville PD. We do everything from they drive a little golf cart, we do firing range stuff, we feed you. It's a great program. David, Lieutenant Brad Stafford and Matt Underwood are in charge of it, and they do a great job with it.
Taser, your pepper spray.
Taser, pepper spray, whatever you want.
Dot said she wanted to come.
Dot wants to be first.
Yeah.
Deputy Chief Sparks will talk about the Youth Against Violence. We do have student internships. We had an intern from Pittsburgh, from University of Pittsburgh, came to us this last summer. We do home and business watch programs, and we're huge in summer camps. So that's some of the little stuff that we'll talk about a little bit longer here. And